Hello, everyone. Um, just on here just to talk about life. I'm a 48-year-old woman, and I've been through a whole lot in life. And I realized that when I was younger, I wished I had someone to kind of school me and to game me on certain things in life. It would have prevented so many decisions that I made in life. I grew up without a father's presence in the home. And my mom came from a third world country. She was beautiful, a great mom. Um, but for a young girl growing up in America with no father figure, no big brother, and just no one really schooling you on the things that a young girl would encounter in the world, it made things a little challenging for me. I kind of went through a lot of things that I didn't have to go through had I, had someone to talk to or kind of like, guide me and steer me in the right direction. Um, so right now, at 48, I'm still going through a divorce. Um, and, just waiting for all the technicalities and things to go through. But nevertheless, this has been the most difficult thing um, that I've had to go through in my life, except for when my son passed away. And to tell you the truth, I'm still very, very vulnerable. And um, I've ignored a lot of red flags that um, should have, noticed. And it was because I didn't want to see the red flags. They were all there, and I was so like head over heels in love that I wanted to just continue to pursue or have him pursue me. And I didn't even care about the red flags. I was like, well, they're not pertaining to me, so I shouldn't have anything to worry about. That was those other women. I'm different. This is different, and that's how I looked at it. Um, However, 7 years later, there are a few other women involved, and he was very infidelitous and cheated on me plenty of times, and he ended up with two and a half children by two other women just within the last couple of years of our relationship. Um, and of course, I'm not perfect. He has his complaints about me, and we had some conflict. We never worked it out. And I had anger issues. I had daddy issues. I had issues, and unfortunately, we didn't stick it out. And his coping mechanism was to go to another woman. My coping mechanism was to mouth off and have attitude and just, emotional immaturity. Um, so, hindsight is 2020. Learn from my mistakes, but there's just sometimes you can't look back. That you can't ever turn back the hands of time. It's just you just have to move forward, learn from your mistakes, and move forward. But when I entered this relationship, I should have known because when I entered the relationship, I was coming out of a relationship, and from what he told me, he was coming out of a relationship too. But his situation was a little strange. He said that he lived with some roommates, and then he said there was a female he was dealing with, and then after I was already in love and head over heels, then he decides to break the news that he's living with his ex, and he's on his way out of the relationship, and that they're not physically intimate or anything. It was just an arrangement, and you know, and so, of course, I fell for it and I believed it. I was like, okay, well, I guess I don't understand, but they weren't married, so I thought that okay, maybe they are just broken up and just staying together for financial reasons or whatever. So, I accepted it. And then, he started doing things like riding me around in her car and bringing me over to that apartment while she was at work. And, he was acting like it was okay, but then I noticed that he would be like looking over his shoulders, like any sound, he would be like, um, super paranoid. So that made me feel like, okay, well, maybe it isn't, this arrangement that he was talking about. And I know I was dumb for even going over there, but um, the situation was I didn't even really know what we were doing, and we pop up there. So um, yeah. So anyway, so now we're in a situation to where I've been trying to leave. I haven't been trying to leave him. He left me. He like for the last few years he's been leaving me. Every summer he'll go off with a different female, fall in love, and then he'll decide that he wants to come back, and then I take him back, and then he does it again and again and again. And so basically he left me again, moved out to a different state, and he's basically he's been dealing with me and the two other new children's mothers, very young girls. And he has one that lives here locally, one that lives in Arizona, and he moved out to Arizona. So basically, he's got her thinking that he's going to be with her. He's got the girl thinking that he's going to be with her, and then he got me thinking, having me feeling like he's going to work it out, and he's sorry for his mistakes, and he wants to make things right. So, but then he pulls these disappearing acts. Like this past weekend, I just went to Arizona to spend some time with them, and I got a room. He, had me come. He begged me to come, so I got a room. We, spent the weekend together, and then I came back. And then the last few days, he just disappeared. Like, like it's been 3 days now, 2-3 days, and I haven't heard nothing from him. He just totally ghosted me. And this is a regular thing that he does. He did it for so long at one point to where I was like, I filed for a divorce, because at first he was just doing this and we were separated. So I ended up saying, well, I don't even know what our status is with each other. So I filed for a divorce, and he said that he was sad about the divorce, but he didn't fight it any. And now, so I started talking to another person, and this other person and I hit it off really well, and I really liked him, and I was starting to heal from this other pain from him, from my ex-husband or husband. And it seems like the moment I start to heal and I start to not think about him and not be hurting as much, that's when he comes back, and he wants to come back home, and he wants to be with me and stuff. So this time around, he's disappeared, and I'm working my strength up to just not even respond to any of his calls or texts anymore. Customarily, he'll call me, and I'll eventually answer. So I love him. My heart is broken. I wish that we can work things out, but I don't know how, because of, there's so many situations attached to this now. And it's hard to let him go because I love him to death. But I'm going to see how strong I can be this time around. And I am going to block him. And I'm not going to look back. When Sodom and Gomorrah hit in the Bible, and God's angels told Lot that he told him to take his family out of Sodom and Gomorrah and not to look back. His wife looked back and turned into a pillar of salt. Also, when Moses brought the Israelites out of bondage, out of Egypt. You know, they were supposed to be, they had a promised land set for them. They were on their way, you know, on a journey to the promised land. Yet some of them were so like missing that bondage that they wanted to go back. They thought things were better. Even though they were in bondage, they were missing the luxuries that came with that bondage, like the things that they were eating and the comforts of being in the home versus traveling in a desert and not knowing when your next meal is going to be. And you know, they would miss that type of thing. So you know, I've been in bondage, I feel, and something keeps holding me back to the situation, even though it's hurting me. I keep taking it back. It's killing me inside. I'm like so depressed and just, you know, it's literally killing me inside. My soul is dying. So I just have to pray. I'm a Christian woman. I just have to keep strong. I have to walk it, not just talk it. And I gotta be strong, pray, and keep moving forward and not look back. Or else I'll turn into a pillar of salt. Goodbye, y'all.